Let's start with Iran and this idea of what it's trying to project to the world as to what exactly this war is going on about. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to achieve?
Well, the main purpose of Iran efforts, exception realm and other realms as well, ever since October 7th, is to make sure that in the end of this war, Hamas will remain in power in Gaza. That's, I mean, the long-term goal is, of course, to destabilize Israel to the point that it will collapse. But at this point, the goal is more limited, to make sure that Hamas stays in power in Gaza. For that purpose, Iran has mobilized all its proxies in the region, Hezbollah from day one, and a couple of days later, the Houthis in Yemen, and the Iraqi militias, Iraqi Shiite militias that are loyal to Iran as well. And of course, some of the activities that Iran can do by itself in order to make sure that Hamas stays in power. And one of the tools that is being used for that, or two of the tools that are being used in this context that you mentioned now, are very important. One is the perception war, trying to deter Israel from removing Hamas from power. And second is the effort to arm the Palestinians in the Palestinian Authority areas in order to make sure that they contribute their share in destabilizing Israel and force Israel to spend some of its troops in fighting against the threat from the areas of the Palestinian Authority, so that Israel will be able to invest less troops in removing Hamas from power in Gaza. That is the general idea. Now, this, of course, is translated into practical terms. So in the perceptional war, there are two major elements that the Iranians are using. One is open threats towards Israel that if you do this, the world is going to come to an end, especially Israel is going to come to an end. And as we heard this week from the Iranian representative in the United Nations, if Israel is going to remove Hamas from power in Gaza, then the Iranians are going to obliterate Israel. Israel is going to disappear altogether. And that's, and of course, these threats repeat themselves all along the way. Israel has to know that if it's going to take action against Hezbollah in Lebanon, again, this was what they actually said this week, then they are going to obliterate it and so on and so forth. Some of the groups the Iranians use today who have been active even before October 7th, they revived them after October 7th. And the Iranians are pretty good at that. They are doing a lot of activity. They're doing it with relatively good Hebrew. They are pretty good at working on the net in this perception war. Look at what happened to a country that was not well prepared. Saudi Arabia paid a heavy price on September 19th, 2019. This was the same missiles, the same drones, and the result was much more painful. So I wouldn't underestimate the threat from the Iranians. I would say that we have prepared ourselves and we are well equipped in order to face this threat, but we should take it very seriously. And on top of this direct threat from Iran, they have the capability to send forces towards us. Hezbollah, Hamas, we fight Hamas for 9 months, we fight Hezbollah for 9 months. It's not a walk in the park. And we lost a lot of people. So we shouldn't underestimate them. They have the Houthis, look at what the Houthis did. They sort of blocked the maritime entrance to Israel from the south. It's the Iranians are pretty capable and pretty dangerous. We should take them very seriously. And on top of all of this, they still have in the reserve all kinds of assets that they have not used yet. The Fatimiyun and the Zainabiyun and all kinds of militias that are made of Baluchis and Afghanis that they can use in the future as well. They use them in Syria. This is Iran is a regional superpower. We have to admit that. Not only that it is a regional superpower, it's a very dangerous regional superpower because it is determined to become the hegemon power in the Middle East. And it's determined to it's ready to use military tools in order to make this happen. And the fact that they dared to launch 350 projectiles towards Israel on the night of the 13th, 14th of April tells you a fortune about how dangerous they are. These people they have a different mindset than ours, and they are totally committed, fanatically committed to promoting their status as the hegemon of the Middle East. And this is all a step on the way to become the hegemon power in the world. It's not for tomorrow morning, but it's something they have in mind. So we have to realize that the Iranians are extremely dangerous. So the people in the Arab world looking at that say to themselves, okay, maybe it's not such a good idea to put all my eggs in the American basket. Let's put some eggs in the Iranian basket. So we see the Bahrainis are becoming friendlier with the Iranians. The Emiratis are becoming friendlier with the Iranians. The Saudis are becoming friendlier with the Iranians. Everybody looks at the situation and says to themselves, well, I don't know to what extent I can count on the United States. And they don't hear something really different enough from President Trump, candidate Trump. And so they say to themselves, I'll make sure that I have some sort of a balance in my investments. I don't want to be threatened by Iran. And this is something that is not because they like Iran, they fear Iran, they don't like Iran, they want to see Iran, the Iranian regime, the Iranian radical regime change. But security considerations, security interests are the most dominant element in their policy.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند